We have understood the various methods to collect the data, quantitative data. Now, one of the aspect of survey design or primary research design is also sampling plan. So, sampling plan is a very crucial this thing. It provides information such as who can be the respondent, who is supposed to answer, this question, and everyone is not a suitable person to answer. How many such respondents do we need to survey? So the number, where will you find them? What are the selection parameters to decide whether it is a right or wrong? So you draw a profile, you decide a characteristics, you decide a survey or a filtering questionnaires, etc. Where will you find them? The probability of finding them, the sampling approach can be, of course, used here. There are various sampling approach. We will study this. So this is a sampling plan. Profile is very critical. Researcher must define a profile of a person who can be considered as a sample. So working manager with at least 5 years of work experience to answer about use of app in the marketing. So then only you have to determine whether he is a working executive, whether he has a 5 years of experience or not, etc. If no, you cannot continue the survey. Profile is considered as a barometer for selecting the respondents. I have explained you how. If a willing respondent does not meet the criteria, okay, he will not be eligible to answer. You abandon and you go forward and search another sample meeting that idea. Sample size is again a very important aspect. So overall under the sample design, who is your sample unit? That's the profile, the size, the number of respondents out of the total target population that is needed. This is scientifically using statistical tools are generally considered, but in B2B it may not be that. B2B you can have a geographical this thing or a convenience sampling, etc. It is not possible to meet all the individuals who qualify as a target audience. That's where the survey representative this thing comes, sampling comes. So survey is a representative outcome based on the sample from which the data is collected. This sample is representative of the complete target group profile. So their answers are extrapolated. Their answers are applied to be true for the common or the target group as a whole. So that's what is a sampling size that matters. There are statistical tools also. The procedure, that how do you go about, and it defines how the sample will be selected. In simple word, you have options like a probability or a non-probability based sampling. Okay, under non-probability sampling, either randomly or convenience sampling. So probability sampling is like you go on randomly asking people and gather them. Non-probability, suppose you decide that I will stand up only outside the mall. So you have reduced probability of meeting masses in the other areas. Okay. Now in the non-probability, this thing either it could be random or a convenience sampling. So you may capture people individually, or you may just pull a group, or you may just stand outside a shop where you see most of the people, etc. So you take a convenience call. Overall, you decided that the people coming to mall is the right say target. Then you do this wherein people coming out of the mall you randomly select, or you decide one spot where you try to grab them more number. So that's a procedure. Here there are various approaches given. Simple random sampling. Every member of the population is known to have an equal chance. Stratified random sample. Population is divided into mutually exclusive groups such as income, etc. And randomly the samples are drawn. So stratified on a certain criteria. Cluster. The population is divided into mutually exclusive group, say pin code. So there is a cluster that has been found, and then from that cluster you draw the data. Non-probability sampling. So these three are sample, random, stratified random, and cluster is a probability sample. Non-probability samples are convenience sample. The researcher selects the most accessible population, easily available to him, meeting the criteria, of course. Judgment sample. The researcher uses this to his judgment to select the population number who are good source of accurate this thing. So he uses the judgment. So for judgment for nature of a profile as well as whom to contact where. And then the quota sample. Here the quota is fixed up. The researcher interviews a prescribed number of people in each of the several categories. So cement, suppose cement is as a product on which you are doing it, you may do a quota sample, architect, interior decorator, actual users, etc. And then you decide, okay, actual users 100, architect 20, interior decorator 10 numbers, etc. So that's how you built a quota. So these are the approach or the procedures for selecting the sample unit you described earlier. Okay. Now continuing this, the data collection instrument after the sampling has been understood, it's a part of our understanding that the development of a quantitative research needs a instrument. We need to cover data collection, therefore instruments are there. For a quantitative research, the primary data collection instrument is a questionnaire. Okay, so if it's a quantitative research, there are two options to this. One is a questionnaire and second is inventories. So this is what we will try to get into, and it's a form of a series of questions. So what is questionnaire? It's a series of questions which is listed in a specific order, chronological order. There the order is very important. It is designed to pull out all the desired information from the respondent in a very logical manner. The setting of the questionnaire is the same. Each question has a logical implications. Of course, however, when you design it, your language, your length, etc., the simplicity is the most important aspect. Ambiguity should be avoided. Flowery language should be avoided. Language should be very simple. Relevant questions. You cannot answer everything. You cannot ask everything. So only relevant to the primary objective or a secondary objective can be asked. Not that while you are gone there, you also ask them whether you are doing a survey on air conditioner. Unless the data collection do not require, you cannot ask, do you own microwave? Do you own a car? No, you cannot ask such kind of a question, irrelated. Yeah, so that's what one need to be taken care of. The format of the questionnaire needs to be tested. So questionnaire when developed, you need to test that. So means you do a sample testing, you go to sample population, ask them, you find it difficulty or you find it answer ambiguity, etc. Then you attend that area and improvise your question. Okay. There are different formats of the questionnaire that one can lay down. Close-ended questions where question is very specific and specific answer only is expected. So that's a close-ended question. Have you tried men's face scrub in the past? Very close-ended, yes or no. There cannot be a third like maybe, may have. No, you have either tried or you have not tried. Close-ended questions. Okay. Open-ended questions will allow what do you think your views on the men's this thing, men's concern about the beard, this thing, or so then anything can be told by the respondent. You allow respondent in the open-ended, you are allowing him a freedom to give his share of mind, while in the close-ended, it is easy to tabulate, analyze, statistical techniques can be applied, which is not the case with the open-ended question. It is a very open, you try to derive based on the judgment and the understanding you get. Okay. Open-ended question, of course, but gives you the mind behind. So when he answered certain thing which is in a close-ended, if you do not ask a reason behind, you are not studying his mind. So open-ended question allows you to get reasoning, what is behind. So that however they are difficult to really quantified or analyze. However, quanti and quali and open and close-ended with open-ended really gives a better perspective. That one need to remember. Then the other tool, as we said, is an inventories. It's a series of statements which is asked in a respondent to indicate the degree of agreement or a disagreement. Here it is not a questions kind of thing, but it's a statement. Now the statement, the respondent has to confirm whether he is in agreement with or is a disagreement with. Respondent will be presented with a list of product attributes, related specific statements to which they are asked to indicate their relative feelings. Okay, so degree of impact or expectation or an experience, okay, or a satisfaction as you see, etc. So it's a statement. I love this product because of features. And then the customer will ask, I fully agree, I partially agree, I neither agree nor disagree, I don't agree, I not at all agree. So that way respondents are given a statement and the options thereof. This is again a very powerful quantitative approach because it can be analyzed using a statistical tool. Most frequently used for evaluating data, like there are techniques called Likert scale, semantic differential scale, rank order scales. We have studied the semantic differential scales earlier, wherein you give a statement and 5 to 7 point based answer can be given. Again, they are all extremes as such. So we understand the Likert scale now. What is Likert scale? If I have to explain you, number understanding. Agree strongly, agree, neither nor, disagree, disagree. Here is a statement. It is fun to shop at the Phoenix Mall. It is fun to shop at the Phoenix Mall, which is in Mumbai. B, C, D, E, F, etc. Products are Phoenix often cost more than they are worth. It is a good place to meet friends and neighbors, etc. Most branded products are available at the store. Now, for all these questions, this may be one of this may be the answer. I agree strongly or disagree. Most branded products are available at the Phoenix Mall. You may say, I strongly agree. Okay. It's a good place to meet friends and neighbors. You may say, I strongly disagree because जगह ही नहीं होती, इतना crowd होता है. So that's how. So that's a Likert scale. So you take a answer bandwidth, you link it to the given statement. Okay. Remember, this is under inventory. So there is a statement. There is no question. This can also have a broad grouping. So fun at, which is divided, this thing, you have a various statements under that. Product. So these are like, this is 5 is as an example, maybe 10, 15, 20 questions are presented. So that's a Likert scale. Semantic differentials understood earlier also, but represented here. Generally, it's a 7 point this thing. Very good, and it goes to very bad. Moderate, slightly, neither nor. So courteous salesperson. So at Phoenix, Infinity, R Mall, and then you ask people, so they will give you this. Okay. So helpful people, comfortable walkways, etc. So this will help you to plot a snake diagram, so to say. Okay. And that will enable you to know where you stand better vis-a-vis competition, where competition is better vis-a-vis you. So that's a semantic differential scale. Rank order scale, instructions, rank the following. Here you have to give the ranking. So rank the following smart TV brands in order of your preference to own the same. If you are given an option to own, rank them. Yeah, so which one you will take first, which is second, which is third. So here the ranks are written. I may say Sony number 1, National number 2, LG number 3. So that way the ranks are obtained. And there is a statistical technique behind which will eventually at the end tell you which is emerging brand as a number 1, which is emerging brand number 2, which is emerging brand number 3. So that is a big quantitative findings for the marketeer. Okay. So we understood the various data collection, this thing. Now consumer research process, the other steps are the collection of a primary data, analyze and the prepare. You may find why it is out here like this. It's a kind of a simple step. After the questionnaire is done, the sample is known, etc. Whether mail data, internet data, etc. You go there, you wait for the data to come in. When they come in, you apply the statistical techniques to the quantifiable data. Qualitative is analyzed based on judgment and understanding, and the inference is drawn. Inferences are drawn, which is analysis of the data. From that analysis and the inferences, then you come out with what you call a conclusions, and from conclusions you bring out what you call a recommendations. So these aspects are presented in a form of a report to the client. So that's what completes the 7-step cycle.